Having moved countries twice and moved homes multiple times, I've spent, well, I say I, but my family as an entity, have spent enough money on furniture to know which ones have lasted, which ones made us regret, and which ones still, to this day, make us happy. This concept really changed the way that I approach buying furniture, especially for this studio, since I made my makeover in my bedroom. And there's one concept, one little thing that I think is so overlooked that will make you regret less the choices that you make and be able to clearly distinguish which pieces you want from which pieces you don't want. My name's Lola. If you don't know me, I'm a junior interior designer in an architecture firm here in London, and I make videos about the things that I'm learning, the things that I'm studying about still even after uni, the things that I'm trying to get better at, and different ways to see design and to approach challenges that it comes with designing a space. Right now we see a trend of thrifting and buying secondhand, but also DIYing your own shelf unit from an IKEA cupboard. We all want a house or a home that will last, right? That will be timeless in the design sense, but also in the functional sense. The part of timeless that really matters to me personally is having things that will serve you, because at the end of the day, your house is a tool. It's housing you and your necessities at this current moment in time. You are a person as everyone else who can change, and therefore your house has to change with you. If you stop working from home, then your house will change because you will want it to be as cozy as possible to detach from work when you come home in the evening. Or the other way around, if you're working from home more now, your house will have to be hyper flexible because you'll have so many more needs throughout the day that you spend there to address. So if you have a pet, if you get a child, like if you get a pet or if you have a child, things change, and so your necessities change, and the house has to accommodate for that. Now, the house is a physical element that will probably not change unless you have a really expensive renovation. What changes is the furniture. The furniture is the most important part of your house that you can move, you can rearrange so that it's fitting your current purpose and adapting to the person you will become and who you'll become again and again and again. I think that makes sense now. People change and the house has to change with it. That means the furniture has to move. And this is the issue. The inability to move things and for things to be flexible and fit in other spaces is what hinders us from keeping these items and not regretting them, and to be happy with this piece of furniture for a long time. A lot of the thrifted pieces are really hard and heavy to move. I know because I bought that guy. And I looked at many more. A lot of the inbuilt cabinets, they will have to stay there. There's a permanence to these items. In my bedroom makeover, I think it's in my channel still, I made a inbuilt desk for myself. I was still in uni and that was relevant at the time. I regret it so much now because I don't need a desk now. All I wanted was a nice chair to sit and read when I come home from work. But now that space is being taken up by the desk and I am lazy. I don't want to unscrew and take down the desk and repaint everything and fill all the holes. Like, I'm a creative person, and I believe you are too, because my subscribers and my viewers tend to be creative people. I know that you don't like to have something that's so permanent that you can never change. Over time, I've come to appreciate the things that adapt. We have an IKEA shelf that's gone from my sister's bedroom to my bedroom to the hallway to the living room. It's an IKEA piece, but it's served us so many purposes. It doesn't look ugly. You can really style it. You can make it look nice. Just be creative with your constraints. That was the topic of my last video, and all of the anxieties and the fears that I have on a daily basis. So if you have anxiety and struggle with like having this sort of feeling when you're designing spaces, save it to watch after this one. Essentially, we're creative beings that like to move things. Isn't the feeling of waking up to a new bedroom so nice? When you wake up and for a split second, you're like, where am I? And then you remember that you just reshuffled everything. It's such a good feeling. The flexibility that an item gives you when it's light, when it's built with a certain quality, when it is flexible in its finishings, so it could fit anywhere in the home. It's not dependent on one room's color palette or style. That makes a piece of furniture last and stand the test of time. It's just seeing the type of furniture that you think could be as flexible as possible in your home. You know, I see that a lot. Sometimes I'm looking for coffee tables and I think that could be a stool. I'm not saying you should use it as a stool because there's weight capacities and that kind of thing, but you get the idea. You can have a coffee table that will serve as a stool if you're entertaining a couple more people, because if it doesn't fit anywhere else, if you can't move it with ease, it becomes a little bit of a burden. If you change, that piece doesn't change, and then all of a sudden it's just like, maybe I need a new one. So it's not that you shouldn't buy the heftier pieces of furniture or that you shouldn't have inbuilt cabinets or inbuilt shelves or whatever. It's more play around with your space first before you make such a permanent decision. Because if you didn't know, interior design has a few branches. FF&E is one of them. FF&E stands for fixings, furnishings, and equipment. And it takes into account all that is not fixed to the architecture. So all of the loose furnishings is done by an FF&E designer, which is different from an interior designer, which is different from an interior architect. There's a few branches. FF&E is one of them. There's people specializing in that and therefore spending years of academic experience and work experience studying and working with designing a space through the loose furnishings. It's highly unlikely you will make a great choice first time. It takes practice. It takes time. It takes good instructions. Play around with your space. See everything that it can give you. Squeeze that space, like try different things. Don't be scared to tailor that space to your current needs and to change it if it's not working out for you. And then eventually you'll know exactly where to place those potential heavier, more permanent items. Because interior design is like clay, right? Since we're all creative here, we've all tried playing with clay, I guess. And if you've done pottery, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's really hard at first and you really don't understand it, but the more you knead it and play around with it, it gets softer and you start to understand how it bends and how the material works, really. And then, only then, you can start making beautiful things with it. It takes a little bit of kneading, you know? So try that out. I hope now you feel much more confident when choosing a piece of furnishing. It doesn't really have to be expensive to have good quality and not be flimsy when you're moving it about. If you want a practical tip, I think those pieces in IKEA that have been there for years, if not decades, there's a reason people still buy them, and it's because they're probably good items. So I think you can put a little bit of trust into the items that are at IKEA for a long time. I mean, a few shelves from IKEA are still standing 10 plus years at my house. The same would apply to something that's a bit more expensive. If it's a little bit pricier, but you know this item could work in so many different ways. For example, an accent chair, you know that it could be in the living room, it could also be put in your bedroom, it could be put in your child's bedroom. There's multiple ways you could use and place this item in your home, and it won't become obsolete anytime soon. So then it's maybe worth paying a little bit more on an item like that. And now you have a reason to convince your husband. I hope this video helped you in some way. Let me know in the comments if you have any specific issues you're facing. I can gladly help in whatever way I can, I guess. I wish you a lovely rest of your day or evening, depending on where you are. And I guess I'll see you next time. Bye!